just like my own meditation. So I was just listening to music and then just tuning into my energy centers. So, you know what the energy centers are? Like, so the chakras, you know,
Yeah.
so it's called energy centers. So energy centers are a thing. Like, it's not like a, you know,
mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, that they have energy, they have information in these centers. And so what you can do is through certain breath work and intention, you can release these centers and actually open them and expand them, and then bring that energy and information up through each center and then push it through your crown, and then you can kind of imagine like this like shower of information which creates your field of energy. So you can expand that with like its frequency. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I do with meditation.
And do you have like an aura ring?
I do, but I'm not wearing it today.
Right. And then can you tell when you're in like a frequency and it will go to your ring, or is that?
No, unfortunately not. Nah, so usually what happens is when I go deep in a meditation, it looks like I'm in deep sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not. Like I'm not asleep.
Into the quantum.
Into the quantum field.
Quantum
that's right.
field.
Into that 5D reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Mitch Ping's Mind here with the amazing Phoebe Fit Taylor. Phoebe coaching. Phoebe, how do you like to be?
I don't even know anymore. I think I'm just Phoebe.
Yeah, that's just Phoebe. Introduce yourself. Tell them about you.
So I'm Phoebe, and I'm a personal trainer. I work at a gym, but also mainly online. Help women working through their nutrition and their lifestyle routines and rituals, and also their training habits and programming as well. But mainly what I'm focused on and what I'm most passionate about is looking at their mind and the way that they think about themselves.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I met Phoebe funnily enough, at a Eugene seminar. And then we kind of just been chatting a little bit back and forth. In the DMs, and I really got intrigued into Phoebe when she was going to these retreat things, and you'd be going, because I was new to the industry back then, a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago, whenever it was, and I would look at people like, oh, she's successful, they're successful, like, what are they doing now? Okay, they're doing courses and that. Like, I don't want to go to this $200 kettlebell course. I want to do this like $4,000 like travel across to a different place, and like I'm like, I saw you on your story or something, like you had went all the way to the Gold Coast, or is it in the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
And you were doing this Joe Dispenza retreat, and I don't know why it freaking took me so long to like just search Joe's name and just look at like one of his and what he's all about, and he's like insane. Like, and the more I think about it, and nutrition and training, and I was telling you the other day, it just all comes back to the mind.
Yeah.
And if you can know the best thing to eat for you, the best way to train, but if you don't know how to actually do it, create a habit of coming to the gym and feeling good about yourself, it's never going to get done, and you're never going to transform your life. And I love how Joe talks about the same thoughts got you where you are today, and if your thoughts predict your future, then your past predicts your future, or like some crazy stuff. So we need to change our thoughts, change our mind, and create our own future.
You got it. That's it. You got to kill off the old version, right? Yeah. You got to create someone else.
Yeah. So we're jumping right deep from the very start. So we're going to get real deep in this podcast, and just let's dive right into meditation. And like, where's the first place you start for someone for meditation?
Awesome. So if they're brand new to meditation, first of all, I like them to start journaling. Just putting pen to paper and just start getting thoughts out. So I usually can trigger these thoughts just through asking some questions, like specific questions which help them to start writing. I think when I first started journaling, like when I was really, really young, I would just write my day, and I would never really write any feelings or emotions that came up. But that's key. You have to start thinking about, okay, today I felt this. Why did I feel that? Maybe it's because of that. Maybe it came from a past experience. So kind of just like getting thoughts out on paper, I think is important. Then second step is finding a meditation which resonates with the client. So some clients I'll suggest something and they're like, you know what, this sucks. And I'm like, cool, let's try something else. So like you said before, Sam Harris Waking Up, the app is fantastic. It's really, really easy, step by step, and it's free for the first 5 days. So clients can try it, they can listen to his voice, because if you don't like the voice, it's not going to work, right?
I have one client that literally says she falls asleep if she listens to Sam.
Oh, really? Maybe she needs someone a bit more like...
Yeah, she uses Calm, I think.
Yeah, Calm. Calm's another great one. And you know the good thing about Sam Harris as well, if you can't afford his app, you can actually email them.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, and say, I could teach you can't afford it, and then you get it for free. Yeah.
I didn't say like, I can't afford it. I was just like, hey, I'm a PT, I recommend this to everyone. Kept like, I love your app, and they're like, if 1 year has been added to your account, I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
just like, Sam's amazing. Like, you know, obviously he knows the importance of meditation. It's like training for your brain. So I think the more people that can do that sort of training for their brain, the world will be just a much happier place.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah. So where did meditation, like, when did you start getting into it, and when did you realize, wow, this is big, like this is what's going to get my clients the next level results?
It would have been I was always into hypnotherapy as a younger person. So probably from when I was about 16, I started looking up hypnotherapy on like internet. I don't know what I even used back then, but I was just really into hypnotherapy because I really wanted to change my brain. I just knew there had to be something that I could do to fix me, because at the time, you know, when you go through your teens, you think you're kind of all messed up, and I was like, I have to fix this. And so hypnotherapy was really cool. Then the second step was meditation, and I got into meditation through my coach at the time, which was in, I reckon, my first comp. So it was 2000 and maybe like 13.
Wow.
And she was like, okay, so you want to do well in this comp? I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, okay, we have to start meditating. I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever it takes. Just give me whatever and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then so the first thing she sent me was the Joe Dispenza Blessings of the Energy Centers #1, which is a 45-minute meditation. And I was like, cool, I'll listen to it. And I didn't really fully understand the meditation at the time. And I still listen to it now. It's a really awesome meditation. But because he talks about time and space, I was like, I don't know what all this shit's about, but I'm just going to go with it anyway. And during the process, as I was listening to it, because all the like the binaural beats behind in the music, I would start losing myself in thought and envisioning myself in the future. Even though as a practice, you're not really meant to be doing that, because you're meant to be literally losing yourself in time and space and not having any conscious thought. I still found it really fun to be in that space where I could start dreaming about what I wanted. And that's when I started really thinking, wow, this is powerful. This is super powerful, because I started seeing synchronicities come into my life where I would envision things in my meditations, and then it would start happening in real life. Because what happens is your brain if you do this enough, like you do in the gym, and you start creating reps, so like reps of meditation, like reps of in the gym, right? You your RAS, like your reticular activating system in your brain, actually acknowledges this as a reality, so it'll then bring that information to you. Because it's a belief. So
Wow. Okay, so I always get the people that say, oh, I can't meditate, my mind just is crazy, it's going. And my response to them is always, oh my god, you are like perfect for meditation. Like it was made for you, because your mind is always going. Like, what do you say to people like that?
Yeah, spot on. That's exactly what I say too. It's not meant to be easy. You're constantly, like, what I like to imagine is kind of like little sheep, right? And like herding through, and you go, come on, like thought here, and there's little thoughts that are trying to, like, you know, pull you out, and it's your job to be like, oh, there's a thought, oh, that's cool, come on back. And it's like not judging it, because it's always going to be there, because if you don't have a thought, then you're dead, right? So your job is to not have any thought. It's to just acknowledge the thought, and you get better and stronger at that. So like creating reps of doing that, and all of a sudden if you do this enough times, you're left and in a space where you actually don't really have much thought at all. But that takes lots of practice. But you know what happens is as well, like, you know, when you stop training for a little while, like in the gym, and you know, it might be like a month or something, and you go back and then you realize, oh my God, I'm so much weaker again. I can't believe I have to go much lighter load. And same with meditation. So it's like a practice, right? So the more you show up and you keep doing it, the better you get at looking at those thoughts. And so you're not having to do the work and to really rein those thoughts back in, because it's happening organically. So the more you can practice the meditation, the less work you got to do, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill of focus and, you know, experiencing love and compassion in your brain before letting those other lower emotions like fear and hatred and self-doubt and comparing yourself to others like take over, which I find today with social media and other people, even like with clients especially, you'll sit them down for a consult and you'll be like, okay, so you want to lose this much weight, you want to feel this good, you want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's your husband think about this? Mm-hmm. Are they going to go food shopping with you and get organic veggies? And they just look at you like, no, like they won't do that. I'm like, wow, like the people you're around the most are giving you these, oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you can eat organic and that's going to make it's like, what? So just training your brain to be like, okay, I don't need to listen to all this input of negative energy, which I think for me is probably what meditation has helped the most. Just that shield of not letting negative things come in and be like, you know what? I love myself. Like, and that's not a bad thing to say. Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
It sounds like egotistical. I'm the best person. It's like, I love myself and I don't need to be, you know, experiencing someone else's negativity. And if someone, and I started changing it, like, well, why are they negative?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on in their life? What's happening to them? Maybe in their life, their mum or their brother or their sister or whatever is being even more negative than them. And you're like, oh my God, this person needs even more love.
They do.
Because they're experiencing hate.
Absolutely. And then you come from a place of compassion rather than taking it on as personal.
Yeah.
And you can see it for what it is, and it's like, wow, you know. And I think you're right. It makes your thinking more resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else did you learn on the meditation retreats with Joe? Like,
so the first one it's always about surrender. Like, it's always about letting go, and that is what I see my goal with this whole life anyway, is just letting go.
Yeah.
And I think when you start doing this sort of work and like things like breath work and stuff, it's all about letting go. And letting go can be really challenging and painful, because it's letting go of all of those emotions and your ego and past experiences, and it's actually painful, because I've experienced it like in the chakras I was talking about, like in your heart chakra, in your heart space. And so the first retreat was beautiful, magical, life-changing, but I just kept meeting that resistance. And so in these meditations, you know, I was faced with an option like, okay, you're going to jump or what? Yeah. And I couldn't. I was like, fuck this shit. Because it was just unknown territory, you know, and the feelings that you get is just like you're holding on to the edge. And so the second one was much more profound for me. I thought I came into this one like, like I've done so much work for the past year. Like I've, you know, I didn't really feel like I would have as much to let go of, because I'd just done it. I just showed up every day since the first one.
Wow.
But oh my God, it was full on. And so we had to do this activity challenge, and I always like rolled my eyes, like, oh, fucking activity challenge. Because like I don't want to jump off a pole. Like just give me, I just want to go meditate. But the reason that Joe does these activities is because when you're in fear, you know, for example, climbing a big pole and then having to jump off of it, you're faced with fear, right? And so you know that you're going to be safe. You know that you're going to not die, but you have to talk to yourself every single step. So the facilitators would make you go really slow, walking up really slow, up this big pole and feeling the emotions and being with the emotions. And so like, okay, I'm feeling fear. Like, and walking through the feelings of the fear. Because people these days don't do that. We just don't.
No.
We suppress.
Yeah.
And we go fast up the pole. We don't want to have to feel the experience or the emotions. We just want to get over and done with. And that for me was very life-changing. Like I got to the fucking top of the pole and I'm like scared of heights. And it was like I had to jump. And and they were like, you know, they're like, feel the emotion, and I just lost it. Hey, and I'm not a crier. I don't cry. Like I'm an ice bitch. I'm pretty fucking icy. Like I don't really cry, and so I think that was my biggest problem, is because I don't cry, I don't let go, and I don't let go of emotion. I don't feel things. I like to rush through. So it was a really cool experience for me, because after I jumped, I was just like a fucking mess, and but that was awesome because it brought up all these old memories and experiences that I actually haven't processed. And I think that's what these experiences can help you to guide you through. Like they help you to surface things so you can look at it and be like, wow, and you can let it go. And yeah.
Wow.
They're pretty powerful stuff. And after that, that's when some really freaky shit started happening with my meditations.
Yeah.
Like fucking crazy stuff.
Like what?
Okay, so after that experience, I had to go back to the room, and I was like a fucking mess, right? And I was all like just a mess, as in energy moving in the body, so releasing energy. So you know how in the beginning when we first started chatting, we're talking about the energy centers.
Yeah.
So they store emotion and energy. So what happens is when someone lets go, it can create it takes over your body. Like it owns your body, and it's moving in your body, and so it makes your body move in uncontrollable ways.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. So the things that you see while you're doing these sorts of retreats is very out there, because it looks like someone is having an epileptic fit, but they're not. It's actually...
Joke. Really?
Yeah.
The actual shaking.
Oh, like they're on the ground, like.
Really?
Yeah. Because they're not conscious, because the energy has so much power. It's now, you know, releasing. So I was getting similar experiences to this, yet I couldn't fully surrender. But around me, people pop, right? And so Joe talks about people popping, and I never knew what popping was. And I was like, okay. My friend at the time was like, you're gonna experience some pretty freaky shit here. So just like you're all good. And I was like, okay. I didn't really know what that meant. But it became quite normal for me after a while to have people next to me completely pop, like, and lose it. Meaning not conscious, like fully like shaky, like real like exorcistic sort of stuff, because they're releasing energy. And that's what you want, because what happens is when you're releasing energy, it's like you're pulling energy from your base and you're putting it through your crown, and it's like you're having sex with your brain. So you're like literally ejaculating into your brain of energy, and it gives you like these feelings that are like better than anything you've ever felt in your whole life.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're meditating after you've done like the fear experience or whatever, exercises, and then you just go unconscious and you start having a seizure, basically?
That's like the goal, yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the goal.
Did you end up having one? Did you fully surrender?
I couldn't. Nah, it's really, really scary for me. So, but it's been cool, because ever since the last retreat, I've been doing a lot of breath work, and breath work is something that I'm really into now, to help the process of surrendering. And the reason I couldn't surrender fully in the last retreat is because I'm around like 1,000 people. There's still that part of my brain which is wanting to keep me here on the planet rather than just letting go. And it's, you know, it's all that whole ego thing, you know, like what are people going to think of me? What if I interrupt someone else? I don't want to disturb anyone. I don't want to be in the way. And they're all those unconscious thoughts that probably I've created as a child, which probably we all have, you know, not wanting to bother anyone, not wanting to be too annoying or too expressive, which I'm sure a lot of people feel, maybe because I've been told as a younger person to like be quiet, shut up, you know, don't be too annoying. And so through this sort of stuff, just memories come up, and then you can have a choice to let them go or not. Yeah.
Wow. What kind of breath work have you been doing?
I do. It's called rebirthing. Have you heard of rebirthing? No. Nah, cool. So, so I see a lady one-on-one once a fortnight for this breath work. Yeah. And I also do a breathing circle once a month in Adelaide as well, which is held, which is fantastic, which is a big group circle. Okay. And so the breathing it puts you in this state. It's like an open mouth breathing technique that you lay on your back with, and then same thing. You start losing sensation of your hands and legs, and then you kind of you go to another place through this breath work, and you start forgetting to breathe, and it's just happening naturally. What happens when I first did my first session? Oh my God, it was the most profound experience of my whole life. Like the most craziest shit ever. So it was a one-on-one session, and she's expensive, but she's incredible.
Yeah.
Her name's Julie Way, and she's amazing. Amazing. I don't know if I can drop names here, but she's the coolest. And she just holds space for you. And I think that's the most important thing through any of these emotional, experiences. You want someone to be able to hold space for you and to feel looked after.
What do you mean by hold space for you?
Holding space as in nurturing, making sure that nothing goes wrong, being able to walk you through certain thoughts and emotions that arise.
Yeah.
So, holding space, making you feel safe to open up.
And comfortable.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she just does, she's amazing. And then so through this experience, wow, it was like I was doing the breath work for about 2 hours and lost consciousness. She times it for about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. So I wasn't breathing for that long, and then I go somewhere else.
Oh my god, what does she do? Does she
I don't know.
Is she gonna resuscitate you or something? What?
I don't know, but I came out of it.
You were unconscious?
Yeah, I was unconscious. I went to another realm. I was with angels, and then they were all hands on my shoulders, and I could feel them touching me, just let go. And one of them was like, what did they say? Your light being, something about a light being. I don't know. I just started getting all these messages flooding through. And then I started getting all these memories come up about my parents and things I needed to really work on. And I was like, cool. So I started getting, clarity around what I had to do on this earth, in this space. And then just wormholes and stuff.
Oh my God.
And what happens is after the breath work especially, you feel so good. You feel... You know how when you do HIV training?
Yeah.
You kind of feel like that, but times a million. You feel invincible and you feel really energetic and light, and it feels like you just drop bags off, Just let it go. It's super cool. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Okay. So... Wow, I don't even know what... that's crazy shit.
But if you want to get into it as well, there's lots of breathing circles in most states.
Yeah.
So you can just look up breathing circles in whatever state you're in. The one I go to in Adelaide is really cool. But obviously you're in a group environment. So it means you're in a room with other people, and which is okay, which is cool. But you're hearing other people having emotional experiences, which can be frightening maybe, or quite emotional, hearing women let go of emotion, which can be, it's confronting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that sort of underlying fear? Do you think that's what it is? It's you just fear of letting go, or?
Yeah, I think for the majority of people, it's stepping into the unknown. And that's what Joe always talks about. It's are you going to take that step to the unknown, to something where you've never been before? You don't know what that feels like. And I do believe that on the other side of that is just total peace with yourself. You know?
Right.
And it's scary taking that jump, because what if? All those what ifs.
Yeah.
And it's just that, I believe it's just that ego keeping you safe. It's just no, we'll keep you here, keeping you where you've always been, which is fair, and I understand that. It's just I think that's what we're here for in life, to just yeah.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go back to the next Joe retreat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh my god.
Do you just want to? Now I've heard stories of him. He says on the podcast and things he's on, people with 50 brain tumors and people coming in that can't walk, and people. Did you experience? Have you seen that?
Yes,
Oh
I saw
God.
this beautiful boy, because we were all doing. By the end of it, we were doing watching healings and things that were happening. It was just. This all sounds so out there.
What's that? Watching healings.
Oh, this all sounds super out there, but I think it's one of those things you have to experience before you judge it. Because honestly, coming into this sort of thing, I was like, oh yeah. But when you experience and you actually see someone who's in a wheelchair standing and walking for the first time in
That's
years,
crazy.
It just doesn't make sense, right? And so there has to be some magic here. And yeah, it's just the testimonials and the transformations that you see even in just a week is just so out of this world.
Wow.
Yeah, and it just makes you more committed to do the work and to show up, because
Does that make you fear more, or I don't know, question yourself, wow, if this person that's disabled starts walking, why can't I just let go? Does that make you...
Not really. No, I think that I'm doing the best that I can with what I've got, and I know that it's just my life journey to experience that, and I'm in no rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
that's
enjoying.
cool.
I'm enjoying it. Like
That's
yeah. Even in my own meditations now, I can sometimes be faced with that same option. I'm like, am I ready to let go yet? I'm like, no. And it's just not my time, and it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is? Let's get into your life journey. Like, what have you learned? I like to think of non-linear actions or non-linear decisions you've made in life. So, like something really, really small. So, like for me, it'd be getting my certificate in PT. Like that just completely changed the direction I was heading in. Like a very small. Okay, I'm just going to sign up for this. Boom, my whole life has just changed. Like a very small action made a huge difference. Like what are those non-linear things that you've done in your life that you just like, oh my God, if I didn't find Joe's meditation, like would I be here?
Yeah, well, I think probably the first one I can think of would be just competing. So that was, I don't know how long ago, 2013, I think I said, maybe?
Yeah.
Around that time. And I just wanted to... I think I just wanted to get skinny. That was my aim. I'm like, yeah, I just want to get skinny. And I was really skinny. I was like, I had no muscle or anything. I wasn't training. So I started training properly. Oh, no, that's right. Before then, I was just doing home workouts. My little like pink dumbbells at home because I was terrified of the gym.
Wow.
But then, competing. So I never believed that I wanted to compete, but I wanted to just do a photo shoot with this girl group that I was in Adelaide. And so I was the only one out of this group that wasn't going to compete. I just wanted to do the photo shoot.
Wow. Okay.
And so I was just dieting, doing the process, wasn't taking it that seriously. I was just like drinking here and there, and because I was like partying hard before the stage. So I believe that fitness, and especially this transition, was the first thing which got me into a healthy lifestyle. Because I wanted to stop partying and drinking and all that sort of stuff, but I didn't really know how to remove myself from that circle, I think, or just from those activities. So I thought I would just like focus on, following this diet and everything. And then I think it was about 4 weeks out, and I was looking lean, I guess. And then I was like, what if I could compete? Like, what if I did? Like, wow, like I just could never even imagine me doing that. And my coach at the time was like, yep, like just do it. Like 4 weeks, let's just go for it. And so I did, and so I won, and that was really cool.
You won.
And then my boyfriend at the time, I was just like, I don't know what I should do with my life now. And he's like, why don't you do PT? And I was like, okay.
What were you doing before that?
What was I doing? I think I was working at Bunnings.
Right.
Because before then I was I was doing uni. I was an artist and doing glass blowing and things like that.
Yeah.
And I really just wanted to draw.
Right.
Because I just like drawing. So I just like Bunnings. I could make shit.
Yeah.
Like buy cheap like.
Okay. Yeah. Or that's cool.
So probably PT for me was as well, like same for you, which just spiraled me into this whole other world.
Yeah. And what other... I know I was talking about courses before, and lately I've been like, oh, it's not really the course that you do, because like you said, you go to the Joe thing, it doesn't change your life. You need to make your own... You get the information, you have to apply it. Like, if you didn't meditate every day, you can't just go to meditation retreat and be like, oh, I'm going to change. It's like, no, you need it. It's a skill. You need to constantly work on it. What little things have you picked up, like a book or a course or a person that you follow that you're like, you started applying things that you learnt from them, and then just like, wow.
Yeah, cool. That's a great question. I've been to so many courses that I haven't applied.
Yeah, right.
Like I've been to, Dean Martini.
Yeah. Did you do one of his?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know. Great guy, wicked. I don't know. Some of his content just didn't land.
Bit dry.
With me. A bit dry. It didn't land. I thought, amazing guy. But I think for me, people like Ryan Drake. So he's a beautiful friend of mine, and he's like my mindset coach, and he's really helped me. Yeah, he's beautiful. He's just amazing. He's really helped me understand the masculine and feminine energy for me, and I am someone who's like a doer. Like, you give me something and I'll do it, but I don't feel things very easily. And so I've really been trying to, this year especially, have more fun and be more feminine.
Okay.
And be more feminine meaning like not just wear dresses and shit, but feel things, and rather than doing, more about being. So being lighter, hula hooping, just because, for no other reason or no outcome. and that's hard for me because I think even as adults, like we all want to be able to do something for an outcome. So that's been something that I've been exploring, which has been challenging but really good for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being in the moment.
Yes.
Like, it's that what you were talking about before, it's the journey. Like, you're not worried about the outcome. You're just like, okay, it's going to take some time. It's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to live life.
Yeah.
Okay. What other habits do you try and implement every day? Or like, what are your... I was coming up with questions before, and I love this one. Like, what... Because we all know, like, habits that, like, make you successful. Top 10 habit, like, top 3 habits. Do this every day and you'll be successful. Like... And there's some things, like for some people, like meditating every day would be like super hard. Like they just can't 10 minutes a day. Like what for you has been a super hard habit to just implement? And then once you've got it, like you're just like, wow, what was I doing before that?
Yeah, definitely meditation.
Meditation.
Yeah, because when I first started years ago, I couldn't fathom having to do this shit every day. I was like, well, I'll just lie down and do it, and then I'd fall asleep. I think the real thing is having to sit in a chair and show up. And I couldn't understand that, but now, of course, I do.
Yeah.
What else? So things like my mind movie, which I love. So,
I saw that was really interesting.
Yeah,
Let's get into that.
Yeah, cool.
What is?
So I learnt this through Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
And it's all about creating your future. So you've heard of vision boards and things, and putting them on a wall and seeing them, and be like, oh yeah, my dream career, or like finding love in my life, whatever. But this is something that I get my clients to do, which is like a 3 to 5 minute video that they create online using an app. So it's finding photos of what you want in your life.
Yeah.
So like, it can be the car or the career or whatever, but where you want to be, whether it could be like a week's time, a month's time, a year's time, or all of the above, and then putting words on top of these images. So they have to be from a space of receivership rather than lack. So rather than being like, I want to be rich, it has to be like, I'm abundant.
Yeah.
And having to embody that feeling and what that feels like to be abundant. So if you're not actually feeling abundant, it's not going to work for you. But you could say things like, I'm working hard to feel abundant, or I'm challenged. I have challenges around abundance, but I'm working on it, or things like that,
right.
which fly for you. And then on top of that, putting a song. So like imagine you're a fighter,
yeah,
and you sing your walkout song. So before you go and beat someone up, you had like all pumped up, putting your song on top. So that way you're really embodying it. So when I watch my mind movie, I'm crying. Like,
really,
I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm in hysterics because I'm feeling the feelings of what it feels like to have this future, and it feels so real for me now. So even as I'm talking, it's like I know what images. I can think of the images and what the words say and how that makes me feel.
Right.
Which creates your reality.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is it like a mantra where you can't tell people what's in your mind movie, or what's...
Oh yeah, I totally can. So it's interesting because when I first started this mind movie practice, it was all the tangible shit. So it was like, the career, how I wanted my relationship to be, how I wanted to feel my relationship, the kind of friends that I wanted, or how I wanted to feel with my friends. And now it's all about like quantum and going deeper and stepping into the unknown, and usually my solar plexus, because that's my area where I am trying to work on right now, about power and owning my power and things like that. But you'll find that when you start doing these sorts of mind movies, or even vision boards, if you're actually looking at them every day, they will be changing, and they change quite fast, because you'll realize that what you maybe thought you wanted, you don't really want anymore, because underneath all of that, it's like, well, why do you want that car? Why do you want to have that body? Because it's for something else.
Yeah.
It's not because you want the car or the body, it's because you're not currently feeling fulfilled. So once you can feel fulfilled in that area, what does that look like? And that's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what makes you feel fulfilled?
Oh, I love that question. What makes me feel fulfilled? I think just doing me, and showing up for myself. And I think if I can't fill my own cup up, I can't fill other people's, which is why...
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's true, right?
That's so true.
Yeah, otherwise you have got nothing to give other people.
Yeah.
And, getting up early, doing what you got to do to put yourself in the right energy, rather than the day owning you and thinking that, the world is against you. Well, actually, don't be a victim. Why don't you just do the steps, change your energy and your attitude to be more in aligned with who you want to be rather than poor me or this day is going to suck, you know, why not just change it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's so important for people like us in the fitness industry trying to help people is make sure we help ourselves first before we can help someone else. Like, I'm sure both of us could still do our jobs if we stayed up all night, like partying or whatever. But I mean, they're not getting the full of us. We're not going to help them to the best of our ability if we're on 2 hours of sleep. No. So I think really, like you said, taking the time to work on yourself and then helping other people.
Yeah.
So let's say you've owned the day, right? You've changed your mindset. You've done all your morning rituals and things like that. Now, what do you do? Okay, I feel like me. What do you do then? What's your mission, your purpose like right now? Like, what are you working towards?
Other than my job, my business, I'm really working hard on that right now. I'm creating more and more online content so that I can be completely online.
Okay,
which is my goal. Because I just love connecting with women from all over Australia and the world, being able to help them in the way that I know that I can. But right now, it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
And then my training is a big priority for me as well. And other than that,
so how come you want to be like mostly online? What?
I do love working with people one-on-one. I love it. But I would love to travel. I'd love to do some more travel.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice talking to people from all over the place. You know, I love that. I've got a really awesome online group right now, all from Adelaide. So we're catching up once a month and having workshops together, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah. I'm loving it. And so what I'm thinking of doing is, as I said before, it's like my thoughts and ideas keep changing. I keep having these amazing ideas about what I could do. And so my ideas now is to create like an Adelaide tribe of girls where we run workshops and like, basically, I'm wanting to create a girl gang of chicks who know how to track, train hard, and want to talk magical shit.
Oh, that's so cool. Can I become a girl and join?
I wish I had a lot of messages from guys. And they're like, can I come too? I'll dress like a girl.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, that's true. I did like when you wore it.
Every month, get around that.
Why not?
Okay, so would your purpose be like, I want like a tribe of girls like that, like in every country around the world?
Yeah.
Wow.
100%, yeah.
Okay. So what are you doing to work toward? I know you had like some meeting the other day, like to really like solidify all your plans and your goals and like everything you're doing in your business. Like
yeah. So I'm working with Tom Clark right now. He lives in Melbourne and he's brilliant. So he's my business coach. I love coaching.
Yeah.
I love being accountable to people and I just love growth and just ticking shit off.
That's so cool.
Makes me happy. But he's great because I need someone to tell me how it is and to, just to do it, right? And I think that's the thing I needed most is the push because we have all the self-doubt and the limiting beliefs that we all have. And I think just someone to push you and is what I needed with this. So my goals are to be online with this program anyway. I'm in the middle of creating a smaller project that people can buy into, like just macros training, and then just some small information about some mindset work. And then if they're wanting more of that, then they can work with me in my group. Which is like over a 16-week program, and we do coaching calls and talk all about values and reticular activating system and language and affirmations and my movies and all the meditation practices that I recommend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. How has your business progressed? Because I know for me, like I'm getting some of my clients to do like weekly check-ins, and I'm getting more into like the values and like purpose in their lives instead of just counting their reps in the gym or like correcting deadlift technique, because there's so much more to it. Like, how has it progressed? Obviously, you started as a PT. Like, where did it go from there?
Cool. So I started as a PT just finished competing, so I was training everyone just as they were competing, just had no idea about what I was doing really. I was just trying my hardest to help people in the best way that I knew that I could. And then from there I started learning and going to more courses and doing the kettlebell courses and all that sort of stuff, right? Just because I knew that I needed knowledge and skills. And then what did I do then? Got into... No, not yet. Then I competed again. So more competing for me, I think IFBB and WBFF, I think. And then from there I did some powerlifting, which was really cool. Didn't really get too much in the knowledge side of things, but for myself, that was where my training was going, which I enjoyed. And then, obviously like Eugene and just always looking online and just trying to find answers. And I used to really love clients that used to come with interesting cases because I didn't know how to help them, but I knew that I would just really try to investigate how I could help this individual, whether it be me referring them if I didn't know, or if I knew that I could actually help them.
Okay.
And then here I am, I guess.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so do you have many online, like face-to-face clients now, and then you want to transition them so you can do where do you want to travel? Because the idea of working online with clients sounds so cool to me, because oh my god, I could do my check-ins in Greece when I'm chilling on the beach, or I could go to Spain and have a dancing class right after I do my check-ins, and then hang out in the village. That's just so crazy to me. How we can do something we love while we're traveling and getting more experience and things like that. Is that, where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
I love that. Yeah. So at the moment it's really interesting because organically I'm just doing more online work, and I only have a few face-to-face clients now, and I love them, but what I'm really wanting is for them to be independent. I don't want them to need anyone or need me. I think it's more empowering for them to know what they're doing, to feel great about it, but they just need help with a few other things, and I can do that through speaking. I don't need to be there physically. So my goals are, my mum has land in Bali, so I'm wanting to move over there within the next year probably.
Oh cool. Permanently?
Even if it's just 2 months.
Okay.
To be there, because why not? And I just had all these realizations, why the fuck not?
Yeah, right?
If I'm already online, if I'm doing really well, if everything is going smoothly, there's no reason as to why. And if it's not enjoyable, I'll just come home.
Yeah.
But, I've always had dreams about moving overseas or doing something crazy. And, last year I booked South America 6 months before, and I was I booked it because I was something was telling me to go to Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
And so I came downstairs and I'm like, Lee, you don't want to go hiking or anything, do you? He's nah. I'm you wouldn't want to go to South America and do Machu Picchu? He was like, nah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I booked it. and then I just did it, and that was awesome. But I think just doing crazy shit is what I need and what everyone needs, just to rattle the cage a bit and to not be so content. Because I think being content and just mundane is really boring.
So boring.
So why not just fucking push yourself? And I think that's all part of the unknown, right?
Yeah.
And stepping outside the comfort zone and letting go, and just trusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was before we got onto the podcast, but you were talking about you just love meditation so it's funny how we used to I have to meditate, but now it's oh yeah, I get to meditate, this is so cool. How long do I have to meditate instead of how long do I have to meditate? It's so, and then you become complacent with, I'm just going to meditate for 3 hours a day, live in this quantum field where everything's amazing. I love that I'm a homeless person, or I don't have any clients. I just love and where does it become being complacent to where you're living a fulfilled life? Because I think it's kind of there's a fine line between being complacent, being I'm happy, I'm meditating, I love myself. Mm-hmm. Whereas you want to push yourself, you want that challenge as well. How do you find that balance? And is that something you've been struggling with lately?
I don't know. I think the content thing is just always hungry for more. More knowledge, more. There's always just more out there, I think.
Yeah.
So, is that kind of what you mean?
Because I'm sure you could just meditate for a few hours and oh yeah, I'm cool. I don't need to go see my business coach. I don't need to go see my rebirthing coach. I don't need to travel. Like, I'm happy here because, love is life and life is love. And
yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I think I love meditating, I love training and I love doing all those things, but I know that I couldn't do that just forever. And,
okay.
It has to be, I guess we're here for a reason on this earth.
Yeah.
And I think I've had a lot of those realizations is that, through some of my meditating, when was it? Maybe at the beginning of the year, that's when I did start to feel that dissonance where I did prefer that reality, but then I had to have these wake-up calls that, well, I'm here on earth, so I've got a soul purpose here, so what am I going to do about it?
Right.
I have some things to achieve. When I die, then I get to go to that realm, but for now I'm here, so why not really make the most of it? Because I think it'll be a shame to waste it all with me being there, I'm not even living, not even being here and being present to how beautiful this place really is. Okay,
so instead of meditating making you complacent and being like happy with the world, it makes you be like, oh, I know who I am now. I know what I want to do. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like your business goals and that. Like, what are you doing with your training and how do you balance your training with your business, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever found that hard? Did you go through phases where you're like, I don't even want to train, I just want to do all my work, or like vice versa, like I don't want to work, I just want to train, like especially with competing and what are your fitness goals now?
So I'm working with Paulo from ARQ Athletics, I think that's what it's called.
Where's he based?
I think he's in Sydney.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's cool. And so definitely going to compete again one day. Still unsure when.
Yeah.
Just playing around with some dates and things, or federations, and just unsure about that. But for now, I'm just really enjoying just training and maintaining my. I don't really know. I'm just really enjoying training.
Okay.
I don't really have any specific strength goals.
Yeah.
I don't really have any specific muscle, aesthetic goals.
Yeah.
I'm just really enjoying training. Other than that, I'm in a dieting phase right now, so I'm hungry. But that's life. And yeah.
Okay. Did you ever go through the phase where you were like, I just want to train, or I just want to work, or struggle with the balance of that?
Never, not really, no.
Okay.
I never really struggled with the balance. I found that sometimes when I was doing one-on-one PT constantly, I didn't want to train because I was there all day, every day, and the last thing I want to do was train myself. But now that I'm not doing as much one-on-one, I'm finding that I just have more energy for myself because I'm not in the gym all day. And that's really nice. I think I've always had a really good balance, and I've always tried to put myself first as a priority. Like, sorry clients, but like I'm number one here, so sorry. I have to factor myself in somewhere, and I train at like midday, which I really love because after a couple of meals, I'm ready to train, and then I can do everyone else's training. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do you have the same thing?
So lately, I just asked that question because lately I've been so focused on work that I just like don't even want to eat. Like I just want to, like on some days, like so lately, the last week Jessica Jones and Stranger Things have been. Are you into Netflix and?
No, I don't really. I hear about it, but I don't watch it.
Yeah, see, but I mean, before Stranger Things and Jessica Jones, I was like so into work. I was just like, I don't even care about eating. I'm just gonna like work and like because I have this thing in my head where I'm just like, I'm just gonna get it done, and then my training's like, I don't want to. Not that I don't want to train. It's like I don't want to spend this time training when I could be like editing a vlog or doing this podcast or something like that. So, but then it comes back to, I need to look after myself. I need to have the right food. I need to not eat like once a day. I need to eat more.
I love that though, because that's passion though, I think, right there. I love that. I love hearing those stories because when you forget all that stuff and you forget to eat, I mean, that and you prefer to be doing it and plugging away at your, this really cool, thing that you're doing. That's passion. Yeah. I get the same thing, but it's mainly about myself. I just want to train, I don't know.
Okay, cool. So what do you do with your food? Like, and what's your food like? Because I know everyone has different philosophy, like if it fits your macros or meal plans or like, where are you on that spectrum of strict meal plan, everything the same, but like variety to like I'm gonna eat donuts and ice cream and like it fits my macros. So like where are you?
Oh, I hate the word balance. I hate it. I don't like it. But I'm very round in that way.
Yeah.
As in, obviously I track my macros. I've been tracking for ages.
Like do you use MyFitnessPal every day?
Yeah, most days. I mean, I usually eat the same thing every day. Like I'm a creature of habit, so I usually just do a big batch of food. I'm so not caring when it comes to my food. Like I'll eat 3 meals.
Finally some good stuff. Okay.
3 meals of chicken and potatoes. With avocado. And broccoli. 3 of those. My breakfast is that. And then I'll have like eggs. I'm making this really cool thing right now.
Okay, yeah.
And it's eggs in our nori wrap. So it's like egg sushi.
Right.
With mayonnaise and avocado.
Oh my God.
Which I fucking love. And then I have like a hot cacao drink at night. It's like maca cacao, like all of the mushrooms and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like jelly, light jelly.
Okay.
Because I'm dieting. So I'm doing that right now. But when it comes to organic and non-organic, I like to go to the farmers markets. You know, I grew up in a house which was very healthy, like extreme healthy for my parents. Like we weren't allowed any of those foods, like bad foods, which definitely caused eating disorders as I got older. But I like to just have some of it. I'm not really a donut person. Like things like breads and stuff don't really float my boat. I like rices and stuff, but I don't know. I just like to eat well, and sometimes I'll eat organic, sometimes I won't. And this is what I like to educate my clients about. It's just like, there is no right and wrong. So if they want to eat organic, awesome. If they don't, cool. There are some foods that I prefer to buy organic, like, you know, like the Dirty Dozen that I try not to eat.
Okay,
like, you know,
what?
Oh, like, you know, the ones which have more sprays?
Right. Like strawberries.
Yeah, like the Dirty Dozen. If you look that up on Google, it comes up with the ones which are probably best to buy organic because they're the most heavily sprayed. But even that, sometimes I just don't give a fuck. Like I do my best. I do my best. Like I value my health, but at the same time, it depends on my priorities and my goals. So if I'm like in a dieting phase, I'm probably just gonna drink more Diet Coke. Like I don't care. I like it, right? But if I'm not in a dieting phase, then I actually find out myself eating more healthfully. Healthfully meaning, you know, because I get to eat more food, I choose more like different options.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? I don't know why, but I find when you're a bit more scarce on calories, you just go for more dieting foods.
Yeah.
Because you just want to feel fuller, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of people have said like, oh, I thought that you only eat organic and you're really healthy.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like, man, like I'm a very healthy person. I believe I am, but I think health also means having some foods in moderation. Like, like jelly, like, I don't know. I mean, I think even people could say that supplementing with pre-workouts is unhealthy. And I just think like, where is the line here? I'm getting a bit confused. I love celery juice, but I also love Diet Coke. So, you know, like, I like it all.
My favorite is when people who have like cereals and like all this other shit that's like been loaded with like extra folate or whatever it's in, and they're like, oh, don't have a multivitamin, that's not healthy. I'm like, wait, what's the difference between having a multivitamin and your Kellogg's like pumping cornflakes with extra dietary folate? Like there's no difference there.
I understand.
All these myths and like you said, like when people were shocked, oh my God, you have like a burger? Oh my God. Like, it's like, well, yeah, we're like humans. We crave like things. And that comes back to the like priorities and your values of, okay, do I really like my training? Okay, I'm going to spend more time at the gym. Do I really like food? Okay, I'm going to spend more time cooking food. And when you find, I don't know if like DeMartini probably got into this stuff, whereas like, your highest values, you spend your most amount of time doing those things, that's when you're going to be the happiest and be the most fulfilled.
Yeah.
So how do you sort of word that to a client when the client's like, they want to eat burgers every single meal, and you're like, whoa, I know I had one burger, but like I eat healthy throughout the week. I have my staple meals. Like, what's your sort of set of priorities for a client? Be like, okay, calories is the baseline, and then it's macros, and then it's like, how do you word that?
Yeah, so like you said, obviously they need to understand energy balance, and they need to understand for whatever their goal is, we need to eat it in accordance to that. So if they're looking for fat loss, we need to say, okay, well, this means that you're having to eat at this now, and this is how we can do that. And like for some clients, they like to have a homemade burger every night, or homemade pizza every night, or, you know, chocolate each day, and like curries, and that's cool because it works for some people. It doesn't work for me.
No.
I like to eat, I don't know, I'm not going to say clean, I hate that word. I like to eat food, real food. I just like that. I like that feeling of fullness. I find that when you're eating foods like the homemade pizzas or you know, like fun foods,
it'd be like
full, man.
Chocolate brownie with extra protein, and you're like, use this like random ingredient, so you have to go down like halfway across Adelaide to get, and then you're like, okay, I've made it, and then you eat it and you're like, okay, I just want to eat the entire thing.
Yeah, I feel the same.
Yeah.
And I think understanding the client, so for some people, they're exactly like that. They won't be able to stop at one, but there are some people who can stop at one. And I think through the consultation process, just understanding where their personality is, especially how they like to eat foods and the kind of food characters that they are. So if they like to have homemade cooked meals and feel full, or if they like to have little small meals and feel fun and snacky, then that's cool, but it just means obviously then they have less food volume, and they need to understand that. So if they're someone who has a binge eating tendency, I wouldn't be recommending foods like chips and things, because they're going to have, it's going to be in the house, they're going to want more of it perhaps, and if like, you know, it's a down day, or if they have an emotional, you know, position in their day, they might just go for those chips as an example, or the ice cream, and not stop at just one. So I think understanding the client is number one, and then educating them on that as well. So they might need to go through a process of just eating more whole foods to feel satiated and fuller, and to feel like those, you know, neurotransmitters aren't just like, you know, looking for more of that that crack, right? Like that the addiction, like the
dopamine hit.
Man, the dopamine hit, where they're feeling that feeling. So
okay,
this depends, I think, on the person, but I think also taking them through phases. So I like to give clients a meal plan to start off with, as well as macros, so they can see, this is what I've done, this is how you can do it, and this is how you can track, and now go and make your own. And then taking their meal plans away from them when I see fit. So I'm like, okay, you're on your own now. You do it. You've had a couple of weeks or months, whatever it might be for that person, of me showing them how I do it and me supplying them with a meal plan. Now they need to become accountable to themselves. So this is the learning process. Yeah.
Do you deal with many clients that are perfectionists, and you'll be like, okay, let's bump your calories up now, like you're going to put on some weight, or like we're going to try and lose some weight now, like, and then they look at the scales and they're like, oh, I'm not losing any weight, like I didn't go to sleep at this time, I didn't eat this, and they're just like freaking out over this little thing. You're like, no, just calm down, like this was really good, like don't beat yourself up over this one small thing. Like, I don't know if you or I had like an extra Diet Coke, or like we had 200 extra calories in one day, it'll be like, okay, it's cool, like it's gonna balance out. But for them, when they don't know as much, they're like, oh my god, I had 200 extra calories, what am I gonna do? Like, how do you deal with them?
It's just education. So we're not robots, like you said, you know, we're humans, and you know, from time to time that's going to happen. I'm definitely never expecting 100%. And we just can't, you know, especially for Gen Pop, they're just looking to be healthier and feel a bit better and look a bit better, and their goal isn't to obviously get shredded. And then obviously education, so they need to understand that the scales aren't going to be dropping in a linear fashion. They're just not. And like you said, you know, if they've had a late night, if they haven't drunk enough water, if they've got their cycle, if they're feeling hormonal, if they've eaten a high sodium meal, more carbohydrates, it's all going to dictate that scale, which is why the scale is just one way we track data. I love photos. I love photos. That's the best for me. And also just their biofeedback form. So how they're feeling, you know, how their sleep's been, where their stress is at, how they're managing it, is most important for me, because we know that if they're following it, they're going to be getting the result, and that might only be a 500 gram difference, but they're going to look completely different.
How do you go with goal setting and for clients? Because I know one client will have a goal and you'll be like, oh no, you actually need to do, like the girl that's been on low calories for ages, like they've been eating 800 calories and they can't lose any weight for 2 years. You're like, okay, we need to bump your calories up for a bit. I know your goal is to lose weight, but my goal is to get you healthy. Like, do you sort of write that out for them? Like, hey, in 3 months, that's when we'll start losing weight? Like,
yeah, sort of. So everyone's so different. It depends, right?
Yeah.
So I have had girls where, of course, we've needed to put them straight into reverse, and I've just needed to tell them from the beginning that this is what we can expect, that they may be getting a slight rise in weight. Obviously, we'll keep things as stable as possible, but my priority is to get them in a healthy position.
Yeah.
So they're not binging and purging anymore. So they're, feeling better, feeling more energetic, having that consistency, so we can actually then put them into a beautiful, like a maintenance, then we can start dieting them when the time is appropriate. I got some clients who are in that yo-yo phase. They've been in that yo-yo position for so long, and the best thing that I can look for is just consistency. So I would not be putting these clients into calorie deficit straight away. It would be for them to show me how they go, first of all, with tracking, because I'm not going to want to put any additional stress on the client if they are already in this erratic state. So everyone depends. It kind of depends, yeah.
And then with the same, it depends for like what you're going to get them to track. Like some people will track religiously everything, and you don't need to ask them twice. And some people will track nothing, and you're like, the people that track nothing, where do you get, like, maybe if you know their sleep is really bad, okay, track your sleep. Do you just pick something that's not so good? You're like, okay, let me just track that.
Yeah, sort of. So if they're not wanting to track their macros, that's cool. They've got a meal plan to follow.
Okay.
But I'm always pushing them more to track, and I just keep reminding them that I'm definitely not wanting them to track forever. Like we know we never want to track forever, but it's a learning process. And once they have more education about what's in food, and every single time they actually track a food, they're going to be like, oh, there's actually protein in that, or there's carbs in that. So they're creating their own little food template of what they like to eat, so that they can actually mix and match their own foods and then be in control down the track. So I'm always pushing them to do that, but if they're not wanting to do that, then just understanding portion sizes. So hand sizes, carbs, fats, they can do that as well. And then tracking sleep, mainly just their energy, like you said. So if they're feeling shit, why? Working through that. I mean, sometimes it's an emotional thing which we can work through, but the physical things that they can do, like sleep and eating and things, of course that has to be tracked and measured for me to then make suggestions. But it always just depends on the client, where they're feeling about things as well, and sometimes people just aren't ready to do more, and that's okay as well, but they need to understand that they're doing this program and that they're not going to be able to reach that goal until we can tick some things off. Just educating them so that they know that what my plans are and not keeping them in the dark. I think that's the worst thing, because I've even been in coaching experiences previously when I wasn't educated, and coaches would be recommending me to do certain things, and I didn't understand why, like why I needed sleep, or why I had my carbohydrates taken away, or why my protein was heightened, or whatever it was. So I think just making sure they are on their understanding of this, so they feel empowered.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I know I'm the same with when I get coaching, and I'm like, oh, why is this exercise? I'm not like questioning it, but I'm like questioning in my mind, like, oh, and maybe I'll ask them like, okay, why did my carbs drop? And you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then you learn more from doing it yourself. What have you learnt, like mistakes, or maybe some coaches that you, like, have you had a few different like fitness coaches, and like what have you learnt from each sort of person that you're just like, oh wow, I did not realise that?
Oh wow, I have been an absolute coach slut. Because I've gone from coach to coach to coach to coach, and there's been so many reasons for that. And one of the reasons is I was always wanting to learn more. I wanted to understand why. And so I love it when clients ask me why, like, oh, why did you do that? And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I that's like a brownie point for them, because I just want them to understand everything. And I feel like in my programming I always say why, but if they ask more questions, that's even cooler. Because I think it's my job to give them everything that I know, so that they can leave me and then go and learn from someone else. Like, because then I feel like I've done my job. Like, they don't need me forever. I don't want a client forever. But I think some coaches that I've worked with prior have just wanted the result, and they would have done everything possible to get me that result, which may mean extremely low calories, extremely high training volume. When I first started in the fitness industry, the fitness world, I guess that was what we did. You wanted to get lean, you just
suck it up, princess.
Yeah, faster cardio. Walk once for an hour at night, an hour of HIIT.
Oh my!
Just
Lord.
stuff that's just silly, and then just no carbs and no fats and really high protein and just things that just didn't make sense. No vegetables on certain meals. Like I just didn't understand why. And because I was quite young, I never really asked why. And when I did, I wasn't met with an educated response. But I'm really happy that I had all those experiences, because even though I went through so much illness because I went through the absolute ringer with all of these fucking coaches and learning. Not all these coaches. There was only a couple really, and I believe that they did their best with what they could at that time. They truly believed that was right, and for them it was. And I'm really happy that I had that experience, because it shaped me to who I am now. And I've learned so much more. And how cool is that, right? Yeah.
That's so cool. What kind of mistakes did you go through? Just extreme starvation, I think, just for certain phases, which led to extreme rebounds. I've had like thyroid issues as well, just because I was underweight, and then like no fats for extended along, like I think 6 months I was like fuck all fats. Like, really?
Just like really unhealthy, yeah. But not only those coaches, it was also me prior, because prior to starting with the coach I'm thinking about specifically, I was vegan before vegan was cool, mainly because my driver was I wanted to be skinny, and I thought, vegans are skinny, I'll just do that. I'll just won't eat anything but like
they're
plants.
Skinny because they're malnourished.
yeah. And I was so sick.
Wow.
So sick, yeah. Just like skin problems and like really dry and like losing hair and like bad.
Wow. So what is that when you're like, oh my god, food is like so important? Did something or is?
I think I just needed to be educated. I think
okay.
So. Over especially the last 2 years, I've really been focusing my education more on nutrition and understanding, food, energy balance, and to help me and help my clients as well, because I felt that I have done so much education in areas around healthy foods.
Yeah.
And then obviously all of the research kind of comes out more about flexible dieting, which has been so excellent, and then just kind of putting them together and just kind of seeing that, man, whatever works for you. And I realized for so long I was struggling with my food because I was trying to be so healthy, and that didn't give me any balance, right? And then so every time I have a burger, I felt really guilty, and I was like, I shouldn't be feeling guilty because it's just like food, man.
Yeah.
And then working through that. And so I think once you can really, if you can educate yourself on nutrition and understand energy balance, you will lose the food guilt. You'll lose the shame and all that associated, which is, I think, key, especially in this day and age, because food guilt and binge eating is so common. I think like 90% of my clients struggle with that. Because there is just all of that, the wrong foods, the good foods, the bad foods.
I hate that.
Yeah, it's really challenging.
Yeah,
I feel for these clients, because it's what, especially the fitness industry can push, like eat clean. You want a result, don't eat sugar, which I don't think is sustainable.
Yeah.
I don't like to eat sugar all the time, but if I want to eat sugar, then I will.
Yeah. Okay. And I think it's when you put that okay, I'm not going to eat any sugar. And then you just want it more. Like you were saying with the calories, when you have more calories, you're like, I'm actually going to eat healthier. But then your calories drop, you're like, I just want to eat ice cream every day.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's restriction. Like once it's taken away from you, then you start thinking about it more, because there is the bad list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that sort of bad list, because I know there's no bad foods, but it's like quantity. You can have a bad quantity of, like, you could overeat. It'd be very, very hard to, but like sweet potato, you could have like 4,000 calories of sweet potato. Not that I would recommend that to anyone, but every week I like to reward myself, and tell me if you like agree with this like rewarding system with food. But I'll be like, okay, I'm going to eat as best I can from Monday 6 a.m. till Sunday 4 p.m. And then like that, like 2 hours, I'm just going to have ice cream, chocolate, like whatever. Not like all in once, like, but I'll pick a meal that I'm just going, okay, I don't care about the calories. I don't care. I'm just going to enjoy this meal. Now some people, there's a PT in Georgia at my gym that's just like, oh my God, you're rewarding yourself with food. You can't do that. Like, what do you think about that?
If it works for you, cool.
Yeah.
You know, if it makes you feel awesome, I think that's great. It's not something that I like to recommend to my clients.
Yeah.
I think it's the whole cheat meal thing.
Yeah.
I don't like the word cheat. I think it creates it literally gives you an eating disorder.
Yeah.
Because you're doing something bad, you
Yeah.
know? And I think, but if you have, when you're talking about it, it kind of sounds fun and light and you enjoy it, which is cool.
Yeah.
But I think saying, okay, you know, to a client, you've got a cheat meal, it makes them already feeling like it's like one window of opportunity. And you're doing something bad. And eating a burger isn't bad. Like it's something delicious. So enjoy it. And so I like to just work on an isocaloric approach. So, I mean, I sometimes do like a high carb day once a week for a client if that's what they want to do. They want to go out and have a big experience and enjoy the food, cool. But I do like to just work on consistent calories throughout the week. And then if a client does do that and has a big crazy blowout, then cool, enjoy it and move on. Like it's just a refeed, now done. But I like to work on consistency, which I believe is the key here. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't reward yourself with food.
Nah, you're not a dog. But, you know, I think it works for some people, and I think for some people they want to have that one meal where they can go crazy. And I think even allowing that and being like, "Yep, cool, that's in your program," that can remove so much guilt.
Yeah. Do you know who Jordan Peterson is? He's like some psychologist at Harvard.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
So he's like podcasting and he writes books and stuff. She has a book called 12 Rules of Life, and one of the rules is don't treat yourself. I can't remember it specifically. It's like treat yourself like you're an employee and a boss. So you would come in like, oh, hey Mitch, you were late with your clients' check-ins. Like, what can I do to make you hit your clients' check-ins next week? And I'll be like, oh, can I have less client check-ins to do? And then I'll tell myself, okay, I'm going to drop back on some of my clients and then I can get it done. Does that make sense? Like you treat yourself like your own boss and employee. So that's kind of what I do with okay, Mitch, you train really, really fucking hard as you can. You're like crying, dying on the floor. You're eating, you're eating like all your vegetables. You're getting every single coloured vegetable throughout the day. You're eating all your meals. You're getting all your sleep. And then you can reward yourself with this. Like that's in my mind. I'm like, if I'm really good throughout the week, I can have this 2 hours. Like calories don't exist for 2 hours. Is there anything you reward yourself with? Like, okay, I've worked really hard, I've done my clients, I've done as much as I can for my business. Now I'm just going to chill out and meditate, or I'm going to go hula hooping, or like, what do you do to just sort of relax and just chill out? And
that's a really good question, and it's something that I'm working on. It is.
I can help you.
I need help with this because it's something that I'm not very good at.
Right.
Doing nothing and relaxing and not doing something, which is kind of why I've got that coach Ryan Drake who I'm working with, because the whole idea of relaxing I'm not very good at. I always need to be busy and doing something, and so I'm always either working on something or reading something, or the one thing I'm really bad at is the fucking scroll, man.
What's that?
There's like scrolling on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to be filling my relaxation time with that shit.
Yeah.
But I find myself on there sometimes, which I'm trying to work on getting off. But I do love Instagram. Like, it's fun connecting with people.
Oh, I get a smile every time you comment on one of my pictures. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I don't know. I just find people say how Instagram is so bad, and I think it can be if it's from a certain angle.
Yeah, not bad for us. Like, it's our business.
Well, yeah, it is. It is our business. But it's just like, I don't know, it's nice connecting with people, and that's how I see my friends and things. Obviously, what I do when I'm trying to relax, I like to hang out with my friends as well, which is nice. You know, and then Lee, I like to relax with him.
Yeah.
Sauna, I like to do that.
Okay.
That's cool. Yeah.
Do you like infrared or normal?
We've actually got a sauna here, so it's a normal.
Oh, for a second, I thought you meant like in your actual apartment, like
wish.
in the building.
Oh, we do in the
yeah, there's one in the building
complex. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
But other than that, yeah, I've got a vibe plate. I like that. That's a vibe.
What is? Oh, it's like a vibe, like lose weight by standing still on this vibration. But do you do it for something else that just relaxes you? Or
lymphatic.
Right. Yeah. Oh, of course. Oh my God, that's so cool.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee does it as well. He does it, and it's actually quite amazing for him. We've got this transformation like images or whatever from his ankles or whatever, and it really helps
Really?
move the fluid. Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's an area that we
They need those on planes.
Yeah, I know, we do. That would be a great idea.
Yeah, sorry, okay. What are you saying? We need
with the G-force.
Yeah.
To keep bringing that fluid up so we can
Yeah.
move it.
Wow.
The next thing is I'm going to get a trampoline right there.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that the other day because I'm like sitting down all day, like, 2,000 steps.
Yeah.
That's not good. Yeah.
I'm the same online. My posture is getting really bad.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I go for walks and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
New trampoline.
Yeah. Keep working on what you love to do. You need to find some, maybe traveling. That's what you need to.
Yeah. I think so. And even just drawing, I'm trying to get back to as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just because when that adult mindset where you have to keep doing things for a reason.
Yeah.
It has to be an outcome. Why not just what else can I do? What can anyone do just for fun? For no reason other than just to be.
Yeah.
And it's really challenging because you keep thinking about when I start drawing, for example, I need to do the washing.
Yeah.
I better just start mopping. All the things, that you would never normally do. But because now this is your playtime, you keep thinking all the things you want to tick off.
Yeah.
So it's just that turning on and off thing, which is challenging, but really good for us to keep working on, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think we've been going for a while. Something I want to end on, if you could go back in time and tell yourself maybe 5 years ago when let's say where I am at the moment in my business, okay, I've kind of come to the end of my journey sort of at my face-to-face PT, I want something more, doing more online stuff. If you could go back to when you first I'm going to train people online, what would you tell yourself?
Wow. I didn't think I'd be doing that. What would I tell myself? I don't know. What do you mean?
Phoebe, organize your bloody online clients from the very start, or get a business coach, or meditate more, or
I don't know. I think I'm kind of doing the best I can.
If you could go back.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just kind of doing it.
Okay, what would you tell me then? I'll just be more direct. Tell me something. What am I going to do?
What, if I was you? If I was younger?
No, you're just giving me advice.
Oh, I don't know. I think you're doing great. Maybe just go meditate. I don't know. Try Dr. Joe Dispenza Blessings and Energy Centers. I don't know.
Okay, when is the next retreat?
It'll be in April.
Okay.
In the Sunshine Coast.
Okay.
So it's quite expensive, but worth it.
How much is it?
I think it's about $3,000.
Okay. Plus.
And then accommodation is quite expensive because it's at the Seagull, which I think I paid a couple of grand for. So
right.
You're for about $5,000-6,000.
Okay, I'm going to start an account, right? Is that your advice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but before that, I'd just be reading all of his books.
Okay.
And if you don't like reading, then listening to them on Audible.
Okay.
The book that I loved the most, that first got me onto this whole thing was Changing the Habit of Being Yourself.
Okay.
Book? I probably got it wrong.
Yeah, he's written 20 books or something.
Oh, the Supernatural book is amazing as well. Yeah. Yeah. Just fucking start.
Yeah.
And I think just start feeling. So, you do the Sam Harris app, Waking Up, which is really cool. And Lee loves that. My partner loves that app. It's brilliant. And he loves there's one in the Sam Harris meditations, which is looking in the mirror.
Really?
And talking to yourself, yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
He said that was really, really cool. And it gets quite emotional. And another one as well was Just Being. So he did this one, I think it's number 16.
Okay.
In the sauna. And you have to just sit there and you have to just let yourself, you might be feeling itchy or ticklish or might want to move your hair or something.
Oh, that is the best.
And you have to just feel it.
Yeah.
And kind of like what I was saying before about feeling it and going through the emotions. Or it's okay, I'm feeling itchy right now. I'm feeling itchy right now, it's all good, and just moving through the emotion without doing anything about it. So starting there is really cool, but I think just starting to feel and embody those emotions, whether it be fear or anxiousness or depression or whatever, and asking the questions why, because I think that'll make you a really good meditator, and then you can step it up to Dr. Joe Dispenza stuff, where you can just start feeling the love and the energy centers and stuff, because that's where you're truly going to become just more compassionate for yourself and other people. And I think the most powerful thing you can feel is love for yourself.
Wow.
And I think meditation can really help that process.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. how can we help you, the Mitch Ping community? How can we help you and support you? Where can they find you?
Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. Phoebe Coaching, I think that's my name. I changed my name so many times.
It is. Phoebe Coaching.
Yeah, Phoebe Coaching.
Yeah.
I kept changing it because I was like, who am I in this industry? I don't even know. But I'm Phoebe Coaching. And also Facebook, Phoebe Taylor Personal Training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your lovely Zen home.
You're welcome.
And thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.
Bye.